SABC2 is introducing a new era of culturally rooted storytelling, focusing on authentic South African stories. As part of this evolution, the channel introduces the first wave of programming that signals the tone, the energy, as well as the intent of the new era, beg your pardon, ahead of the full channel rollout on the 9th of February 2026. Key changes include the new flagship telenovela, Pimville. The launch is happening this afternoon in Sandton, and SABC's news anchor Liesl Wilson is there for us. Liesl, a very good afternoon to you. Sounds very exciting. I see that you are on the red carpet. Importantly, of course, authentic storytelling in this country, so much needed. Tell us what's happening there.
Absolutely. Unathi, a very good evening, and a very good evening to our viewers as well. So we're here at the Galleria, it's the Conference and Expo Centre in Marlborough in Sandton, Johannesburg, for what promises to be an exciting launch. I mean, the stage is set, the red carpet's been rolled out, people are slowly trickling in, final touches are being added as people make their way to the venue for this exciting launch that you've obviously alluded to, SABC, the SABC at large in the country. Really looking forward to this latest offering. Of course, as you mentioned, it will all be rolled out come the 9th of February. It is a launch, but it's not just a launch. It is a moment. It's a moment where we get to also reflect and look at what the importance, the importance of the public broadcaster, the importance of storytelling at large, as you know, and of course, how important access and representation is. How important it is to see ourselves on the screens represented. And so there's a lot that is promised here tonight. There's a great program as well. But as we build up to that, they're adding the nitty-gritties here. I think we're going to get a sense of what went into putting all of this together and really where to from here. For that, I'm going to be joined by Head of Platforms for SABC, David Makubumyane, to chat a little bit further. David, good evening and thank you.
Good evening, Liesl.
Look, it's an exciting time for the SABC. I should say Thobela, Molweni, Sanibonani, because representation really has become center stage for this launch. Ratings are not always as important as what it means to edutain at large. Tell us through this concept that you developed.
No, that's very important. I think, Liesl, if you go back to 1996, the dawn of new democracy, the SABC channels were launched at the time. It was on the 4th of February. And the whole mandate and the idea was we need to move from the old TV1, TV2 that had English and Afrikaans to a more inclusive SABC1, SABC2, SABC3. And in particular, SABC1 and 2 at the time were channels that were launched for public mandate delivering. And what does that mean? It means representing South Africa as a whole. It means South Africans had an opportunity and a chance to see themselves on television, but also to hear their own language and to feel represented. So it's about diversity, but very importantly, interestingly enough, at that time, if you remember, there was also a government of national unity. And the idea was also to forge a platform that can bring unity and social cohesion. So all we are doing is we're saying, where have we lost it? We're going right back there and we're saying, when we launch SABC2, this is what we are about. As a public broadcaster, we are about public mandate, we are about education, we are about informing, we are about also entertaining. And that is a USP. You know, if you think about it, with all the plethora of platforms, digital platforms, social media platforms, information out there, we need to go back where South African families have a common place where they can sit together and reflect and be able to feel united. And that's what we are doing.
Well, the stage is set and we're looking forward to that because, to your point, we are part of the democratic project in this country, and people-centered approach, is what we've taken, that human story as well. The way it's been designed arguably could also be one of a journey, and that might be one of the offerings as well. So can you perhaps tell us how that was set up and what new programs you're going to be adding to the lineup as well?
So it's very exciting. We've got, we're going to review and revive the entire schedule. The schedule is changing. You would have noticed that we used to have Sievendelaan in the past. We used to have Muvangwa last year, it ended. So we are introducing fresh new programs. We've got podcasts on the channel. MySpace is a new podcast that's coming in. Aintlek is a new talk show that's coming in. Penny Libyani will be hosting that. afternoon, after 4:30, we've got a telenovela, brand new telenovela. We've got Omasari that is going to launch on the 9th of February. And immediately later, after the 20th, we're going to launch with Paradise. I'm very excited about Paradise. It's an Afrikaans story that represents the colored community of South Africa, but also infuses other, communities in South Africa. Replacing Pimville at 9 o'clock, replacing Mobango at 9 o'clock, we've got Pimville. That is a great drama that has actors like Gail Mabalani, Tapelo Mokwena, Clement Musimani, Mam Lillian Dube. So we've got variety. That's one of the things as well. We're not all about just dramas. We're also about giving an opportunity for the industry, whether you do documentaries, whether you do talk shows, dramas, and if as a viewer you also are entertained by those, you'll be able to also, come in and watch those. We have our Afrikaans news coming back at 6:30. The Afrikaans news was on S3. It's coming back on SABC 2. We've got our Triple S news, which is the Sotho, Spedi, Setswana news at 8:30. We've got the David Mashabela podcast at 9:30 in the evening. Basically, nearly the entire channel is changing. Deal or No Deal, which is there doing well, will remain. It has one of the.
Can we talk about the mornings as well? What is that exciting endeavor? Obviously, Morning Live has been a firm favorite, waking up the nation really as we start our day. So tell us a little bit more about that offering.
Yes, of course. Morning Live, with Morning Live, what is important with Morning Live is the fact that we are extending it. Morning Live is a favorite, and we know that before people go to work, our research shows that a lot of people tune in. And maybe later people start going to work. So for that reason, to give people more news, more information, especially now that we're heading towards local elections, Morning Live is no longer going to start at 6 o'clock. It now starts at 5:30. Quite exciting, I think, for you as well.
Well, yes, early mornings indeed, but obviously looking forward to that country duty moment that it really is going to be for all of us, and obviously you, right, as you navigate from strength to strength as well. What legacy do you hope to leave through all of this as we continue with the launch?
I think that a lot of people ask the questions around, the livelihood or that existential question around the public broadcaster. It's not just here in South Africa, just linear television around the world, now with a lot of the digital platforms. And what we want to do is say that if you hit the soul and the heart of people, if you have relevant content that it talks to what it is that people want, you will always be relevant. And what we want to do is make sure that the public broadcaster, even when we are gone, remains as strong as it was 10, 20 years ago. Because this is for South Africans, and this is where we see ourselves, reflect ourselves, and if anything, even extending this onto SABC Plus, because there's a lot of innovation that we are also doing to make sure that our brands live on digital platforms. But what we really want to do is definitely make sure that the public broadcast mandate and the representation of what it means to be South African, our culture, our identity, is protected and it continues.
Yeah. All right, David, I'm going to let you run. I know that you have a lot in store ahead of that launch tonight. David Makubunyane, he's the head of platforms here at the SABC. There you heard it. The launch is happening. It's a new era of television for the SABC, which sounds like we're also going back to where it all began, looking at access and representation, and of course why the public broadcaster continues to matter as well. So the theme for tonight was actually smart casual with a touch of Mzansi flair. So we're also looking forward to everyone coming out on the red carpet and looking at how they're going to be representing Mzansi at large. But for now, let me hand it back to you. We're going to continue to tell this story, and we'll continue with that journey as we continue with more news on the other side every hour. It's goodbye for now and see you later.
All right, thank you so much, Liesel, for that wholesome conversation. They do say 2026 is the year of one, so a new era, very exciting times for the SABC.